Tuesday night, live from Studio 6B. Glad you're in. J.D. Vance is on deck, and we are waiting for him in Reno, Nevada. We are going to cover his speech and any other speakers that take the stage. Anna Paulina Luna, I believe, is coming up as well. We're going to take her. Kevin Downey Jr. sitting next to me again, riding shotgun. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for having me again. This is a hoot.
I love that shirt. Very good. Glad to have you. Slick will be here. Rick Delgado will be here as well as we await J.D. Vance out in Reno, Nevada as the vice presidential candidate, making a couple speeches today, couple speeches tomorrow. We'll be covering them all for you right here on Real America's Voice. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. We've got David Zier out at the event covering it live. David Zier is going to be on the road for, what sounds about like a month. But he'll be on the road for at least all this week, maybe next week as well, covering, the vice president. And he's going to the border, I believe, with Ben Bergquam. So he's going to be busy. Lots to get to, but of course, the feature of the night is going to be the vice president and his, we haven't really heard J.D. Vance's kind of stump speech as it develops here. So
I hear he's weird.
Yeah, well, everybody is these days, I hear. Everybody is weird these days. So we'll be waiting for that. Just let me know whenever we have whoever we're taking. Aaron's on there. So in the meantime, I want to talk about our great sponsor that we have for these events for the vice presidential candidate and these speeches. And that, of course, is TrumpT-shirt.com. TrumpT-shirt.com. Great sponsors for this event tonight. And for tomorrow, we'll be covering the vice presidential candidate again. Of course, in the face of adversity, we all remember President Trump standing strong and resilient, which seems like a long time ago, but it wasn't that long. Now more than ever, it's time to show your unwavering support. Introducing TrumpT-shirt.com, which you can see right there, a stunning T-shirt emblazoned with the powerful image of our fearless leader, Donald Trump. The Never Surrender shirt at TrumpT-shirt.com shows Trump against a backdrop of the American flag. I mean, how good looking is that? Moments after he was shot, where he stood up against all odds, put his fist up. I mean, it's an iconic moment that I'll never forget it watching it. I mean, most of you probably won't either. Each TrumpT-shirt.com shirt is crafted with the finest materials, ensuring comfort, durability, because we know you'll wear it with pride at all your rallies, gatherings, everything you go to, and every moment that calls for standing up for your beliefs. And of course, we all, after this attempt on President Trump's life, we all feel that now's the time. We got to rally the troops, rally the wagons around him like never before. These shirts aren't just clothing. They're a statement of solidarity, a bold proclamation of our unwavering support in the face of adversity. Visit TrumpT-shirt.com if you want to pick one up. TrumpT-shirt.com today and secure your Never Surrender T-shirt. The perfect shirt to amplify your voice and show your commitment. Honor President Trump. Stand in unity together. Solidarity with him. Get your TrumpT-shirt.com today and wear your support proudly, because together we are stronger. That's TrumpT-shirt.com. Go there now. Check it out. And show your passion for President Donald Trump and show that it shines bright. Order now. Let your shirt speak volumes. TrumpT-shirt.com. Go check it out. It's a good-looking shirt. TrumpT-shirt.com. Our great sponsor for these events, the vice president, and we're waiting for J.D. Vance's speech. We'll go out there. David Zier's on the ground. Slickster in the house.
Big D,
looking
what's
good.
going
Look
on, man?
at this, man. Look at
tonight.
this tonight. This is like next level.
Big pimpin'.
I am right off the boat. I had to go to an event earlier tonight. We were on the boat.
Well, what was the event? The Liberace celebration of life? What was it?
I don't know about that, Big D.
Elton John.
Don't date me like that.
Okay.
No, come on. But yeah, I put the hat on because my toupee would have blew right off in that water there. So I didn't want.
Yeah.
But yeah, here I am. So come on, rock and roll.
All right, very good. We'll have time to do some sports later tonight. We'll do some news. Delgado will be here in a little bit. Slick will do some sports. Yeah.
Prom's over?
Yeah, prom's over. Delgado's going to be here. Kevin Downey Jr. sitting in again. He's going to be here maybe all week. We're trying to snag Kevin in here all week if we can.
Yeah, come on.
Well, so while we're waiting for whatever's going on there in Reno, I guess some of the news of the day, I don't know what caught your attention, Kev, but mine was, once again, the Secret Service now acting director in front of the Senate. I mean, this is just one of those things where when you watch it, this kind of a clown show, you just think, how is this how we do things? This guy is now the acting director. Well, he should have been fired before the one who resigned.
Yep.
This one's more responsible, most likely more responsible for what happened that day than she was. I mean, she's sitting up there in the comfy office and, signing off on the paperwork, or maybe she doesn't even know what the hell's going on. Who knows? So she resigns, doesn't get fired. And now this guy takes over and he comes to testify today, and he's more culpable than she is. I mean, he was stunning today.
I've never seen someone beclown themselves quite like this guy did. And I had the pleasure and privilege of watching this on Dan Bongino's podcast, where he rolls it and chimes in, because Dan Bongino was a Secret Service agent, and he would say, nope, that's a lie, that's a deception, that's a pivot. And at one point he goes, that's a very clever response to dodge responsibility. Senator Cruz asked the question, how many agents were there for President Trump? And the guy responds, well, we had such and such blank agents, because there's different agents. There's different levels. There's the ones that walk with the president, and then there's a second tier and a third. So he dodges the question while not really lying. He says, well, he had the same amount as Joe Biden. But that's not true. He only had the same initial amount. It's the secondary and the third level where they think the ball was dropped. When it comes down to this cat, Ronald Rowe Jr., he, as Damon said, he's more culpable than that Cheeto woman who resigned. This guy reeks of conspiracy, and I'm not like a chemtrails guy. Although I did agree that Biden would be gone. I was on chemtrails for that one.
Come on, Kevin.
But I'm telling you, I smell a stink badger in the perfume aisle again. I'm telling you, Damon, I don't like this guy. I think he's a piggy, and I think he needs to. They might need to charge him.
I mean, you look at this guy's history, by the way. Mike Davis pointed out today, I believe, don't let this guy fool you that he's some career nonpartisan law enforcement guy. This guy worked for Barack Obama. This guy worked for Pat Leahy on the Senate Judiciary Chairman when he was the Senate Judiciary Chairman. Pat Leahy from Vermont, Democrat. So he was a Democrat staffer back then. So don't buy the baloney that this guy's some partisan. I mean, his testimony today. Somebody says to him, I don't know if it was Hawley or somebody says, well, this guy was able to fly a drone without any problems. Why weren't you guys flying a drone? They had the drone there. They couldn't fly it because they had bandwidth problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had what? Bandwidth problems.
Come on.
And then they say, well, yeah, we had this guy on. We had pictures of him that were sent around, but we never could confront him because he just evaded, like the guy's Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. He evaded law enforcement for 40 minutes or whatever it was. And I'm thinking to myself, so we're talking about an area that's, 3 football fields wide. I mean, how long from the whole entire area that encompasses this whole thing out there, how big could it be? You're telling me it's some 20-year-old kid who's on your radar, who's got a rangefinder, who's already kind of raised the suspicion of everybody, is just able, in wide open spaces, except for the 1-2 buildings, wide open spaces, he's able to evade law enforcement for 40, 45 minutes. Never came in contact. People taking videos of him, but never came in contact with any law enforcement after he was on their radar. Now, if that makes sense to you, please raise your hand. That a 20-year-old was able to evade law enforcement for 40, 45 minutes in a space that makes up, 4 or 5 football fields put next to each other. Maybe not even that big. How? Wide open, in open fields. How did he do that? Flew a drone. We couldn't fly a drone, bandwidth problems. He just was able to avoid everybody, get on top of this building that's unmanned, and he's with a weapon, and is able to fire off 8 shots, one that almost killed the former president. I'm looking for that day where I say, okay, Now I can get off the crazy train, get out of crazy town, and get back to this is clearly what happened here. I have not found it yet.
Damon, did you hear when he said we didn't have enough bandwidth? One of the senators said, why did the other guy have enough bandwidth? And his answer was, I don't know.
Well, because he bought his at Best Buy. He bought the DJI whatever at Best Buy.
Do you know those things can drop bombs, small bombs?
Well, there's some of them that can carry payloads, yeah.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, there are some that I saw a drug dealer down in I don't know where it was, where they make up the cocaine. I believe it's Colombia, dropping bombs on a homeless camp or something. Small ones, but you can get you can buy a drone with a release switch, because fishermen take the drone and it takes their lure out deeper into the water, into the ocean, than they can get from the shore, and it drops it. So you can get a small explosive device to whiz over a stage, drop it, and see what happens. But you need bandwidth. I guess the Walmart type, as you said, has enough bandwidth for that, but the cops couldn't have one.
I mean, you can go to the Apple store to buy a DJI. You can go to the Best Buy. You can go. I mean, I just, again, I don't know how else to say it other than I keep looking for that light bulb moment where I go, oh, okay. Now it's starting to elite. No. Every time I watch anything or hear anything, I think to myself, nope, I'm not buying it. I am not buying that this is all just happenstance.
You know what? I don't believe it's a clown car of mistakes either. There are too many mistakes here, and there's no way. So what? I know a former FBI agent who said he believes they purposely scaled down Trump's detail and purposely put a bunch of DEI types, knowing that they would create the perfect storm where if someone did try, they would succeed. But I think there's more than that. I think there was a plan. And I think this Ronald Rowe Jr. guy is in on it. Firing him is not enough. Some people knew. They had to have known. And you know what? It's been 2 weeks. Have you guys heard what caliber weapon yet?
No.
No, we're getting nothing. And the last time the FBI investigated something and we heard nothing was when this transmabob shot up a Christian school in Nashville. And they wouldn't even let us see the manifesto because it would go against the narrative. So you can't see it. It had to be leaked out to, I believe, was it Crowder?
Yeah.
Did Crowder get it? Okay. So, yeah, they're hiding something. They're hiding something here. I don't know what it is, but I'm hearing more and more that this guy, he leaned left, 20-year-old, okay, who cares? But I care when he's trying to put a bullet into Trump's face. Now I care.
Yeah.
Me too.
All right, let's hit the break. We're waiting for J.D. Vance to take the stage in Reno, Nevada. You won't miss a single word of it. When he takes the stage, we will have it for you. Live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. But he didn't say how late. So, Aaron, can we get the stage up so I can just get a better sense of like what's going on? Because filling time is different than if I have to just like that. Oh, we did. Oh, okay. Because that's what threw me off. I'm thinking, how could she be taking this long to get to the stage? Why aren't we taking her?
No, she spoke and then said he was next, and then they went to music.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, so we're just doing a regular segment 2 here. Unless you tell me he hits the stage. I'm not just trying to fill a couple, it's different when I'm thinking I'm filling 30 seconds. Or if I'm doing a segment. Wonder if this is JD's choice of music to play. What's going on, everybody, in social media? You're whatever you're watching on, make sure you hit the like, subscribe. I don't hear Kevin's mic.
Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. Make sure you
Was
hit the
mine
like.
off the whole time?
Huh?
Was mine off the whole time?
No, just after we went to commercial.
You know what? Do you have one of these, Damon? A thing?
A what?
The ear thing?
Check over here in the middle underneath. Aaron said.
Excuse me.
Janet on Facebook, how are you? Where's Delgado? Love the shirt, Kev. He's coming. Delgado's coming.
This song was written by Prince. What do you mean you're laughing
Nothing
at
compares
Jay?
to you.
This is good stuff.
Well,
What are you talking
it's
about?
not. I didn't say it's not. I mean, it's just putting me to sleep. That's all.
That's
I'm
okay.
having a hard enough time staying awake at night.
Yeah.
And the
Well-
people there, look. I mean, we got to get some energy in the room.
They'll get some energy. Don't worry. Nothing compares to
play,
you. That's a classic, dude. Come on.
Nothing compares to you.
Absolutely. It's a Prince
I mean,
composition.
okay, let's hear. What's the next tune, dude? Let's hear this.
Can make a good man turn bad.
Ain't Dalbert, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
That's the Smiths.
I'm sensing
The
like
Smiths.
a little
Jeez.
chill vibe
That's
here
okay.
at the chill vibe at the JD Van. Hey,
Rick, what's your favorite Prince album? If you could pick one.
Yeah, so Where I Lived in My World was in 1999. That album.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I was on a platform in Rockville Center on a Probably.
all right, live from Studio 6B, 17 past the hour on a Tuesday night. We are waiting for JD Vance to hit the stage in Reno, Nevada. We will bring you every word of it. Don't you worry. So keep it right here. We're waiting. I believe he got tied up on the tarmac from his first speech, getting to the second speech. But we'll get there. Remember our great sponsor, TrumpT-shirt.com. Check them out, TrumpT-shirt.com. Man, it's a good-looking shirt over there. It's our sponsor for tonight and for tomorrow night's JD Vance speeches. TrumpT-shirt.com. Go check them out. Before I get to Kevin Downey Jr., one thing I want to get to, because we're on the we're still seemingly in the honeymoon moment for Kamala Harris and everybody. And she's doing a rally today in Atlanta, and she's packing them in there in the big, big arena like Trump's doing. And everybody, oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Oh, she's got the momentum. Well, a couple things I want to point out to you. The new Harvard Harris poll has Trump at 52%. So whoever says the honeymoon is continuing on, the new Harris poll has Donald Trump leading her 52-48 with leaners and 48-45 without. Harris has improved Joe Biden's numbers on the latter, but not on the former. Even the unsure voters are breaking towards Trump, at least somewhat. And if you look at Nate Silver today, 538, he has his new probability out with Harris factored in on the Electoral College, and Trump's up 64-31.
Wow.
On just the Electoral College. Now, she may win the popular vote, but who cares? The more worrisome data for Democrats are in the charts below, however. Trump holds Republicans to the ticket better than Harris holds her own party in both formulations. In fact, her 87% without leaners should be a red flag for the DNC, suggesting strongly that the party is not as sold on the anointing as the media claims, even with the full court press on Kamala. Take a look at the independent numbers. Trump leads by 6 with leaners and 6 points. He leads 6 points without leaners and 6 points with leaners. One has to wonder whether the sample tilts a bit towards the Dems based on those results, plus the party loyalty numbers above. If so, Trump's still scoring an outright majority over Harris, whose attractiveness as a candidate is at its top right now before she's forced to, have to open her mouth about policy. In the next slide down, we see even more demographic red flags ahead for Harris and the Dems. Trump leads by 12 among men and only trails by 4 among women, 44-48. Trump also wins an astounding 25% of the black vote, 44% of the Hispanic vote. Again, this is the Harris new Harris poll. which is slightly lower than in some other polling. Before we get to issues, one more worrisome result for Democrats. They only have a +3 advantage in the generic congressional ballot without leaners, when anything less than a +5 usually means losses in the House and in the Senate. And when leaners get added to the mix, it becomes a +4 for the GOP. What may be causing the Trump bump? Well, the issue set clearly favors Republicans now. The top 3 issues for the respondents in the Harvard-Harris poll, when asked in an open-ended manner, are inflation at 37%, immigration 33%, the economy and jobs at 27%. And if those 3 remain the top 3 issues, it's hard to imagine a scenario that she can win, because she and this party and this administration have been so abysmal on all 3. I don't see how you can talk your way out of it. If Trump keeps the messaging where it needs to be, which is where Dave McCormick has it right now in Pennsylvania, with video after video after video, just absolutely nailing it. When asked to specify which single issue impacts responders the most, 45% of them chose inflation. 14% chose immigration. So those are some real numbers out right now. And again, I don't put any stock in them, but just enough with the, well, look at this. Packing the arenas. This thing is really turning around. No, it's not. It's not turning around at all. And the honeymoon is going to end soon, and she's going to have to open her mouth and talk about policy, and they will debate, I'm assuming, at some point. So, Kevin Downey Jr. is here. What's going on in your world?
You know what, Damon, before I get into this, can I ask you guys something?
Yeah.
I have a theory that the reason they dumped Biden is that they knew they couldn't cheat him over the finish line again.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
I think you're right.
I think they're going to lie to us and tell us they're neck and neck or within the margin of error, try to cheat for Kamala and say, oh, she pulled it out at the end. I think they know she can't win. I think they're going to lie to us with these polls. I don't believe these polls are as close as they're saying. I don't see it. And I've been looking for it. I've been trying to find something. I told you about that poll last night, Angus Reid Institute, where Newsweek had to go to Canada and find some left-leaning charity group that does polls to say, look, Kamala's winning with a couple of black voters. No, I don't buy it. I think it's all about keeping the polls close so they can cheat. What do you think?
I agree.
I don't think it's unreasonable at all.
Nope, it's not unreasonable at all.
I definitely agree that they knew they couldn't cheat him across the finish line. No doubt.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason he is gone.
He couldn't pass.
Well, that and Obama, seemingly the reporting is Obama went to him and said, Joe, you're out.
Joe, you got to go.
Because if not, we've got the 25th here waiting.
Yep. All right, I've got some news, and this happened a couple of days ago. I didn't write about this at pjmedia.com. I did not talk about this on my radio show. I wanted more information, but I knew where it was going. So, 11 kids were stabbed in the UK. 3 of them are little girls who are dead, and they didn't give the name of the stabber. So, well, he's 17, we can't give it away. But when they don't tell you anything about the attacker, that means it doesn't fit the narrative. Now, we still don't know his name. We do know there was a subsequent riot outside of a mosque very near where the 11 children were stabbed. So that kind of tells us what is going on. It's probably the religion of peace. But, you know, the UK, they can't say that. This is the same nation that allowed tens of thousands of women to be raped by Asian grooming gangs, which is the nicer way of saying Pakistani Muslims. They're hiding the violence around the world. We're not hearing about it. Well, I mean, we hear about some of it, but I don't know if you heard at the Olympics, as they were going after Catholics, there were pro-Palestinian people yelling Heil Hitler during the Israeli...
Oh, yeah.
Sure. You got some info on that? Okay, good.
I saw that, yeah. We had the story last night, but I didn't run it, but I knew about it,
Yeah, and they're throwing the Heil Hitler salute, and they've got a banner of some sort that says Genocide Olympics.
Yep.
Genocide Olympics. But the guy they threw out faster was the one who said, oh, the women are off doing their makeup, because that was sexist. I find that reprehensible. But I've got a friend, Robert Spencer. He is the master blaster over at Jihad Watch, and he's written some books. He works with me at PJ, and I have him on my show every now and then. But if you want to know the reality of what's going on, head over to jihadwatch.com or check out Robert Spencer at PJ Media, because he's the guy who knows about it. He actually wrote a book called The Critical Quran, where I think he's the only one in history to translate the Quran. And it says all the horrible things that we know it says. You know, little girls are fine. Raping women is fine as long as they're not Muslims, and kill anyone that's Jewish. And you tell the Christians that they can switch over, or we can kill them. All of that is true. It's all there, and that, I think, is part of the globalist threat that we are looking at. Because I'm telling you right now, if this happened, if this guy had been wearing a Tommy Robinson T-shirt, we'd know everything about him.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. We're waiting for J.D. Vance, the vice presidential candidate. Trump Vance ticket out on the road doing their thing. We'll bring them to you. Every word as soon as he takes the stage in Reno, Nevada. We're back right after this. Break number 2. If you're on social media, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, comment, share. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Facebook, thumbs up as well. Kick, wherever you're watching us, we appreciate it. Still waiting for Jay. Can we put the stage up there, Aaron, and keep it in the middle? Still nothing there, huh? The former lieutenant governor of California. I do not. Why don't I know who that is?
I didn't recognize the name, and I don't remember it.
California. Write a bad check, forge a bad check, $950, no problem in California.
Is that feed a little jumpy, Fran? Is that?
Yeah, it has been for the last
Kamala
15
Harris
minutes.
policies. She's been at the top of the government, and we cannot let her get away with it. She also did Proposition 57. Democrat.
All right, Slick. If we do this segment, we'll do sports, and then I'll do a little. I'm going to do this Mike Lee cut from today because this is the question that I've been asking since this whole thing started. So, one of the
do the Mike Lee cut first, and then sports after, just in case we don't want to get cut off.
No, let's do sports first because we may not have time.
Okay.
If he comes on, then you're toast.
All right.
So let's do sports while we can. Then
how long do you think he's going to go?
Cuts, huh?
How long do you think JD is going to go?
I hear he only goes like 30, 40 minutes.
So
he doesn't do
some show.
He doesn't do Trump like an hour. He doesn't do like that.
He can't have that kind of content. I wouldn't think. Is just JD tonight, or is it Trump too?
Yeah, no, it's just him.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow night too.
Where is he? Vegas?
Where's he tomorrow? I don't know.
Oh, where's
he's still in Nevada,
JD?
I think.
I think he's Reno tonight.
Reno?
He's in Reno tonight. Yeah, tomorrow. I'm not sure.
Is Zia there?
Yep.
Okay.
Facebook's Beth said, "Not yet, Damon. Give him time." Who you I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Delgado, probably.
Yeah, baby.
I mean, a night off, a half hour late. Like what? I mean, you got something you want to tell us? Huh? No, we're in the break for 10 more seconds. All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night, waiting for J.D. Vance in Reno, Nevada. We'll bring you full coverage of his speech when he takes the stage. Little delayed. I think he was stuck on the tarmac from his first location to get into Reno, but he's there now. Slick's going to do some sports. Kevin Downey Jr. sitting in. Delgado got the flat on the UFO replaced, and he's now made it here, so we'll get to him in a second. Let's do some sports, though. Right, sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. Slickster, let's do some while we have some time. What's going on?
All right, Big D. Well, good day for the girls' Olympic gymnastics team. They won the gold medal today, so I want to get to that story. But first, I got to get to the basic business, and that would be the baseball scores. Come on, let's go. Major League Baseball scoreboard. Orioles over the Blue Jays 6-1, top 7. Top of the 6th. The Phillies leading the Yankees 4-2 down in Motown, Philly. Marlins 3-1 over the Rays, bottom 6. Top of the 5th, the Reds, my Cincinnati Reds, 5-0 over the Cubs in Cincinnati. Twins right now trailing the Mets 2-0, bottom of the 6th. Top 5, Red Sox and Mariners locked in at 3 apiece. Cardinals 1-0 over the Rangers. That's the end of 1. End of 2, no score. Braves at the Brewers. Royals trailing the White Sox 1-0, and that game just underway. We have that score there, and then we have, moving along, we have the Diamondbacks taking on the Nationals. That is a 9:40 first pitch. We have the Royals trailing the White Sox 1-0, and Astros blanking by the Pirates 1-0. That's the top of the 2nd. Guardians earlier today defeated the Tigers. Sorry again there, my man. 5-0, Kevin. That's a final. So Tigers not doing too good this year.
Are you
so
a Detroit
far.
fan?
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. He's a Michigan guy. You know that. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But good day for the, well, look, the Olympics, we got a lot of criticism about the Olympics. We certainly don't like that opening show. I got a story coming up about that as well. But we want to talk about celebrating the good stuff. And Simone Biles and Team USA, they took the gold in Olympics gymnastics finals, which really, that made me very happy to see that. Because, obviously, I'm not an Olympic fan, certainly not anymore. I was back in the day, back in the 84 Olympics, of course, in the 80, of course, with Lake Placid. But right now, can't love the Olympics so much, but I have to celebrate the wins and Simone Biles and those young ladies. And I really don't know where they stand politically. They haven't really said either way, and probably good for them that they don't. But I do want to celebrate that. So Simone Biles and Team USA won the gold medal in the women's gymnastics team final at the 2024 Olympics. This is Christopher Brito and Emily Back-Chazor of CBS News. Days after an injury scare, Simone Biles and her U.S. women's artistic gymnastics teammates took home the gold medal in the team finals. It was their first medal at the 2024 Paris Olympics and marked an incredible comeback for the history-making athlete and for Team USA. Italy took second place, ending the finals with 165.494 points to Team USA's 171.296 overall aggregate point scoring. It was Italy's first Olympic medal for women's gymnastics in almost a century. Brazil's team won bronze, finishing just shy of a point behind Italy for their first medal ever in women's gymnastics. So, historical day. The women's artistic gymnastics team final took place Tuesday at Bercy Arena and featured Biles along with her other American teammates, Jordan Childs, who had a great day, Jade Carey, and Sunisa Lee. It was an important contest for the American athletes who are all returning to the Olympics this year after appearing in the previous games. Japan was a disaster years ago, and especially for Biles, who was forced to leave the competition in 2020 because of a dangerous mental block that prompted her to take herself out of the running. Biles and Childs took part in the uneven bars, vault, balance beam, and floor exercise events, while Lee competed in every round except for the vault, which was Carey's only event. Just one member of Team USA didn't participate in Tuesday's competition, 16-year-old Hesley Rivera, who was making her Olympic debut this year and will be accepted as a gold medal along her teammates at the award ceremony. So big day for Biles, big day, and big day for the Olympic gold medalist women's gymnastics. I like to see our girls win, so that was really exciting and really, just an exceptional moment that you can celebrate. I know you're not watching the Olympics.
Nope, not 1 second.
Well, you're like my friends in Ohio, Big D, so here we go. I'm going to go to that story. Ohio restaurants vow not to show Olympics after insulting opening ceremony. So they fall right in line with you. This is Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. 4 restaurants in Ohio have announced they will not televise the Olympics to their patrons after the insulting displays during the opening ceremonies in Paris on Friday. The restaurants located in Columbus and Cleveland and owned by restaurateur Bobby George issued a joint statement on Tuesday announcing their decision to cancel the games. The 4 restaurants are Town Hall, Rebol, Green Goat, and Mandrake, according to WKYC. The Post read labeled the drag queen theme parody of The Last Supper as insulting to the Christian faith. In addition, the statement said, "We will not tolerate any form of discrimination or desecration. Therefore, we will not be broadcasting the Olympic Games at any of our restaurants." At just the midpoint of the opening ceremony, cameras focused on a bridge in which a group of drag queens, and we know the whole story on that. I'm not going to get into all that. We talked about that the other day. But good to see that. Restaurants are protesting that. Of course, Ohio, the great state of Ohio, we know how they bleed for the most part. That's a great state, and that's where J.D. Vance comes from, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of bleeding, Delgado just leaked in here.
You see, do you see what I see there on, they got to him.
Oh, what do you got? Tennis elbow there?
The aliens got to him.
What do you mean, the implant?
Hold your arm up for the public.
Show the public. What do you got?
He's been chipped.
Oh, they got to him.
Yeah, there you go.
What'd they inject you with?
I got the implant.
You got the implant.
He's been chipped.
Yeah.
He's been chipped. He's been something. Delgado, how are you?
Hey, what's happening?
Wow, man, oh man, you just dropped in out of where?
What's going on?
Not much. What's up? What did I miss?
A show and a half.
That's a show and a half, yeah.
Not a show and a half.
How was your night last night?
Show and a quarter.
Night was much needed. Much needed.
Oh, really?
Had a very busy weekend, extremely long and busy Monday, so now I'm here.
Okay.
That's why I'm here too.
Welcome to the club.
How was the first half an hour of tonight?
It was great.
Okay,
Connor
good.
was on fire.
All right, excellent.
Yes.
How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Why? Is there
just-
something wrong?
Well,
Are you talking about this?
no, I'm just wondering what they got you with there. What
They got me with I donate blood.
What did the people inject you with?
More blood.
Oh, you donated blood tonight?
I donate blood.
Delgado
okay.
time for implant.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not
No, they usually don't do it in the arm.
not a UFO deal.
If you've seen South Park.
If it bleeds, it leads. Yep. Here we go, Delgado.
All right. What did you
missed
think
you.
of? Did you watch any of the FBI acting director today?
Oh, of course. Oh, my goodness. This is the guy that Bongino's been railing about. That he's part of the problem. He's probably the one.
He is the problem.
He's probably the one
Case
that
closed.
was denying all the requests for security upgrades.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable to watch this guy sit there and be like, "Oh, I'm the next guy." You're more culpable than the one who left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
amazing.
crazy.
Just amazing. And 17 days out, they still don't have any answers for anybody. 17 days.
I said this before you got here to Kevin. I said, I'm looking for that light bulb moment every time we have testimony or we find something out to go, okay, well, at least this is now making more sense. No, can't find
Nope.
it. Can't find it. Everything digs the hole deeper.
Yeah, especially when he said, was it him that said it? I think it was him that said it. That the kid, well, he had a golf ball, a distance finder.
The rangefinder.
Rangefinder. Right, but he attributed it to golf.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that came
But
out
it was
today.
a golf one. Well, you didn't know that
Right.
till afterwards.
Yeah. Well, did you see him with a golf club or golf bags? Or
Yeah, is there a course around? Was
Yeah.
did he hit it like a left off the 14th and he was looking for it in the pucker brush? What?
Right. Was he somebody's caddy who maybe was looking for a lost ball that they sliced right?
Yeah. Guess what he was using that rangefinder for? Donald Trump was the pin.
Yeah.
And he was looking through it and he went, okay, 140 yards right there to the center. That's what he was doing. Did you have a drone? Yes, he was able to fly it. How about us? Did you guys have a drone? Yes. Why weren't you able to fly it? Well, we had bandwidth problems.
Bandwidth.
That's what they said today.
Bandwidth.
Bandwidth problems.
Bandwidth problems.
Yeah.
Not purple hat problems, bandwidth problems.
And here's the real question that we've been asking. Mike Lee got right to it. This is the question that it all comes down to. Here was what Mike Lee wanted to know, what I want to know.
So 2 p.m., exactly 17 minutes after multiple suspicious person reports were provided, complete with photos and information suggesting that the assailant had a rangefinder, something that ordinary people don't use in this kind of circumstance.
Senator, again, it was suspicion, not weapon, or there was never communication of that there was an individual with a gun or threat or other bad intentions.
How many suspicious person reports did you receive that day?
I'll get back to you on the exact number, but there were other individuals that came to the attention of law enforcement that day.
Would President Biden ever be allowed on stage under similar circumstances with an unresolved set of multiple suspicious person reports provided, including indicating that there was a rangefinder involved?
Senator, I can tell you that a suspicious person on the outer perimeter with local law enforcement attempting to locate would happen, but I would need more information as far as whether or not we would allow the president to go on or off. Again, for us, it comes down to weapon, a potential threat. Is the individual carrying an IED? Is there a weapon? Is there some other factor that now ramps up?
Well, how would you know that if you can't even find the kid? We're told.
Not even that. I know. That you didn't.
That's
even
the
have,
bar.
That you didn't even have somebody. You know what? Let's just throw him a few questions. Hey, kid, come here. Got a question for you. What's that? Let me look inside your bag. What do you got in there?
You couldn't do that if you can't find them.
Right. But it's just amazing they didn't even attempt. There's no even attempt to say, you know what? Yeah, this falls on me.
All right, here we go. J.D. Vance is taking the stage in Reno, Nevada. Let's go to it live. Let's take it, Aaron. We'll be back when he's done.
The rest of the world help us for change, and let's rebuild America first. Our highways and bridges are falling apart. Who's blessed and who has been cursed? There's things to be done all over the world, but let's rebuild.
Wow, it is good to be in Reno, Nevada. I have to thank the Lieutenant Governor for such a great introduction. I think he's handled Kamala Harris. I don't know if I have to say anything about Kamala now. But in 97 days, starting right here in Reno, we're going to take back this country and elect Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, once again. Now, think, my friends, about all that's happened just in the past month. Donald Trump wiped the floor with Joe Biden on the debate stage, exposed a massive cover-up of the president's mental incapacity, and saved America from 4 more years of Joe Biden's presidency. Not bad. And during that same time, Trump accepted the Republican Party's nomination, held the most successful convention in history. He even took a bullet for the country that he loves and didn't miss a single day of work. That's pretty damn good. Just imagine what he'll do with 4 more years in the White House. Now we have some friends of ours here from the press in the back. Hello. Oh, it's okay. They're not all bad, just most of them. But our friends of the press, after covering Joe Biden's incompetence for 3.5 years, the media is at it again, this time gaslighting us on Kamala Harris's radical record. They want to portray her as some kind of reasonable moderate. The same media that told us for 3.5 years that Joe Biden, who didn't know where he was, that Joe Biden was Albert Einstein, is now trying to tell us that Kamala Harris is Abraham Lincoln. And we all know the media loves a good fact check, so let's get started. Kamala Harris was rated as the most liberal senator in the entire United States during her tenure. That is not a reasonable moderate. That is a crazy record. She is dangerously liberal, and she will never be the president of the United States because we're not going to let her. Now, we're not going to be fooled by the media's lies any longer. And there's nothing they can do about the fact that Kamala Harris, she owns every single one of the Biden administration's failure over the last 4 years. Biden didn't know what he was doing, so clearly it was his vice president who was running the show. It was her as border czar, and don't let the media lie to you, they did make her the border czar. She unleashed the worst border crisis in American history on her watch. In 3.5 years, more than 10 million illegal aliens have invaded our country. Now, that was not an accident, by the way. During her first failed run for president in 2020, she told everyone that's exactly what she wanted to do: to decriminalize illegal immigration, tear down the immigration and customs enforcement system, open up the floodgates, and give every illegal alien free health care. She wanted all of you, America's citizens, to pay the bill. Then on Kamala's first day in office, they went to work. Not for you, but for them. They suspended deportations. They stopped building the wall. They reinstated catch and release. That's how every state became a border state. They just released them all over our country. Sometimes they give them first-class tickets wherever they need to go, and first-class hotel accommodations paid for by the very people in this room. And if that wasn't bad enough, they proposed amnesty for millions of illegal aliens. Kamala Harris might as well have sent a personal invitation to millions of migrants around the world, including some very violent and very bad people. Now, the chief of Border Patrol was appointed over a year ago, but border czar Kamala Harris hasn't spoken a single word to him, not once. What kind of a border czar is that? And I served my friends in the United States Marine Corps. My brothers and I would have called that a dereliction of duty. Kamala Harris has got to start doing her job. Now, the best part of this is she has the nerve to question mine and Donald Trump's loyalty to this country. Did you see that? Well, here's what President Trump and I believe about loyalty. Loyalty to this country is closing the border, not opening it up. Loyalty is safeguarding Medicare for American citizens, not bankrupting it by giving it to illegal aliens. Loyalty is protecting Laken Riley, not allowing an illegal immigrant to come here and take her life. Loyalty is protecting our children from the poisonous fentanyl, not inviting Mexican drug cartels to deal it on our playgrounds. Loyalty is serving in the United States Marine Corps, something I did. Loyalty is taking a bullet for this country, something Donald Trump did. If Kamala Harris wants to talk about loyalty, then she should look in the mirror. And it gets worse, This administration under Border Czar Harris handed out 3 million work permits to illegal aliens who lied and claimed asylum in our country. Now, they turn a blind eye to people who will steal American jobs and undercut American wages. And I guarantee it, if she becomes the president of the United States, she won't stop until every single illegal immigrant that she let in becomes a voter. Handing over control of your country to people who shouldn't even be here. Now, I have a different message. If you are in this country illegally, start packing your bags right now, because Donald Trump is coming back. It is time to put the interests of American citizens first. It is so simple. American leaders ought to care for the interests of the people of this nation. Isn't that common sense? Now, we're grateful to be joined by some Republican leaders who represent that basic idea that American leadership should protect the interests of this country. You already heard, I believe, from Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. Where is she? She's a superstar. There she is. Great. We've got the great Nevada GOP chairman, Mike McDonald. Where are you, Mike? There you are. Now, this is a tough name to pronounce, but I'm going to try to do it. RNC National Committeeman Jim DeGraffenreid. Jim, I got it? There's Jim. Okay, Jim's over here. How'd I do on the name, Jim? Thumbs up? Great, 2 thumbs up. And we're joined by numerous members of the State Senate and State Assembly. Now, I'm also honored to be here with Sam Brown, a great American patriot, and the next senator from the state of Nevada. Sam, there he is. Come on up, Sam. Can we open up? There we go.
Senator Vance, welcome to Northern Nevada. This, and to the rest of the country, this is where the White House will be won and the Senate will be taken back. Nevada, I'm fired up to be here because I know what it means to serve this country. I know what it means to sacrifice for this country. Senator Vance knows what it means to serve and to sacrifice for this country. And President Donald J. Trump knows what it means to serve and to sacrifice for this country. We are the battleground of the nation. We have such a role to play, and I know that many of you are tired. You are tired of the policies of Biden. You are tired of the policies of Harris. You are tired of senators that ignore you, do not understand our struggles, and will do whatever the Democrats in D.C. or New York want them to do. But I tell you this, in my darkest day, in the day that I thought I was going to give up my life for this nation, there was 4 simple words that took me from a place of having lost all hope to a conviction that not only would I live, but there would be purpose in that suffering. And it was this: sir, I've got you. There is life and there is power in those words. And so I do not take this lightly when I say that President Trump has got us. J.D. Vance has got us. Nevada, I've got you. And guess what, Northern Nevada? We've got them.
Wow. We love Sam Brown, don't we? Now, for decades, politicians have sold out this country. That's why we need to get people like Sam Brown in there to replace him, right? Now, when multinational corporations called politician offices for a generation, those politicians traded American jobs for campaign cash. Now, they'd never admit it, of course. That's not what they say. They brag about trade deals, and they promise cheap products. They call it globalization, and for so many, that's exactly what it meant. American jobs went to some other part of the globe instead of staying here, right here in Nevada and other states. Now, if it's up to Kamala Harris, it's going to keep happening. She voted to preserve NAFTA, the very trade deal that sent American jobs to Mexico and turned American dreams into nightmares. And now Kamala Harris is asking for a promotion, and I think we should say, Kamala Harris, you're fired. No promotion. Now, I want the American dream as a goal for our children. We don't hear people talk enough about the American dream anymore, but 4 years ago you did. And 4 years from now, those dreams are going to become a reality because we're going to bring it back. So let me tell you what we believe in this room, and President Trump and I believe on this ticket. We believe that 1 million cheap knockoff toasters aren't worth the price of a single American manufacturing job. We believe that we're going to rebuild factories and rebuild the American dream and stamp more and more products with those beautiful words, made in the USA. Now, I have seen the consequences. Can you hear me? Great. I've been told this is an American-made microphone, so hopefully we're going to be in good shape. Now, I have seen the consequences of electing politicians like Kamala Harris in my own hometown, because more often than not, it's the people the Bible calls the least of these that suffer the most when people like Kamala Harris fail to do their job, when they fail to protect public safety and fail to protect American workers. Now, some of you know my story and some of you don't, but I grew up in a poor family. I was raised by my grandmother. I called her Mamaw. And I've been the beneficiary, I have to say, of a number of strong women in my life, especially my beautiful wife, who you guys saw earlier, aren't we? Now, I would call her up here to come and speak, but then I think I'd have to sleep on the couch tonight, so I'll leave her alone. But I've lived the American dream. Because of those strong women, especially my grandmother, I was able to go enlist in the Marine Corps and go to school and get a good job and become a husband and father and all the things that I've dreamed of. In fact, I'm living it right now, getting to spend this wonderful evening with you fine people. Isn't it great to be here in Nevada? Now, it worked. My life worked out because I had a strong grandmother, and I'll tell you a story. When I enlisted in the Marine Corps, I was 18 years old, and Mamaw was very proud of me, but this was back in 2003. She was a little frustrated that I was enlisted in the Marines in a time of war, so she didn't want me to do it. And when the recruiter came to our house to talk to her and explain to her what boot camp would look like, he put one foot on her porch, and she said, "If you take another step, I'll blow that foot off." That's the kind of strong woman that made me who I am. But that amazing, incredible, undefeatable American spirit, I believe, is on the ballot this November. If we don't stop making bad decisions, if we don't stop opening our country to illegal immigrants and fentanyl, if we don't stop Kamala Harris, we are going to lose the American dream. That's why we are going to stop it. We're going to elect Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. Now, let's just talk about the contrast between not just these two visions, but 4 years of Kamala Harris's governance and 4 years of Donald Trump's. Kamala Harris's vision is open American borders and closed American factories. It's bigger government that tells you how to live your life and smaller family bank accounts. It's war and chaos all over the world while American citizens pray for peace. Kamala Harris would be the most anti-American energy president that we have ever had. She's pledged to ban fracking. It's on video. You can go look it up. She's vowed to end offshore drilling. She co-sponsored the Green New scam. So when you fill up your tank at the gas station, maybe you should send a bill to Kamala Harris. But make no mistake, the affordability crisis that Kamala Harris created is destroying the middle class in this country. It is the biggest concern American families have. President Trump, by contrast, built the strongest economy in history, and the formula was pure common sense. He delivered a giant tax cut for hardworking families, and we're going to make it permanent. He rewarded American companies for creating jobs in America, and he punished companies for shipping jobs overseas. Again, common sense. He unleashed the spirit of entrepreneurship in this country, and he inspired us all to believe, once again, in the basic promise of America, that if we work hard and play by the rules, no dream is out of the reach of our children. Now, Kamala Harris and the Democrats have broken that foundational promise. They penalized people for working hard and playing by the rules. That's why so many Americans no longer believe that their children will be better off than they are. And that's a tragedy. If you're out there today and you're trying to make ends meet, if you're scraping by instead of thriving, if your hope is dwindling as quickly as your bank account, I have got good news. On November, help is on the way. We need President Donald J. Trump because we need a president who's going to make this country and her citizens wealthy again. We need a president who is going to make basic life affordable again. Bring those groceries down. We need a president who's going to tell our great American energy workers, let's drill, baby, drill. We got plenty of it. Let's get it out of the ground. Now, Kamala Harris, she's the exact opposite. She wants to end immigration and customs enforcement. She wants to turn our cities into sanctuaries for criminal aliens and then defund the police so there's no one left to stop them. But the countdown clock is ticking. In 6 months, we're going to re-elect Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. And when we do, we're going to launch the largest deportation program in American history. If you came here illegally, you got to go back. We're going to end catch and release. We're going to ban sanctuary cities, and we will build the wall. And for the great service workers of Nevada, we are going to end taxes on tips. No more IRS bureaucrats going after our waiters and our bartenders. Now, people forget that when rioters looted and burned down American cities, especially Minneapolis, in 2020, Kamala Harris was raising money to bail these guys out of jail. The criminals that she helped free included an alleged knife murderer, a convicted rapist, and a domestic abuser who later shot and killed a man. And now she wants to end cash bail. So if you assault a police officer, you can be back on the street the next day. Now here's the crazy part. On top of all of that, she wants to confiscate firearms from law-abiding citizens. In other words, she wants to leave you completely defenseless, more dangerous criminals on the streets, more illegal aliens in your communities, fewer cops on patrol, and no guns to protect yourselves. If Kamala Harris wins, we are going to be sitting ducks in this country. And the crime rate that's gone up shows that as reality. But hear me loud and clear, we will never let this happen. Not in Nevada, not in anywhere else. Every home in this country is a castle, and you ought to be able to defend it against anyone who threatens you and your family. And speaking of defense, in this room, we know the truth. Our police are heroes, and we're always going to have their back. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote to back the blue. Never forget it. And together, we are going to save this country for American citizens of every race, color, and creed, and it starts with strength. We need a strong president, strong borders, strong families, a strong economy, and a strong president whose name is Donald J. Trump. We don't like the weakness. We don't like the vulnerability that Kamala Harris has exposed this nation to. The entire world knows that she helped cover up Joe Biden's mental incapacity and decline over the last 3.5 years. It's the biggest scandal, maybe in the history of this country. For 3.5 years, our country has been saddled with a president who cannot do the job. Now, we all see it, and we all watched it, and it's hard not to feel sad for him, but you got to feel sadder for the country that has suffered under that leadership. But America's adversaries have been licking their chops because imagine if we saw it for 3.5 years in public, how bad was it in private? And every single Democrat in leadership, including Kamala Harris, they covered up for Biden's incompetence. And if you're too dumb to realize that Biden couldn't do the job, or more likely, if you're too dishonest to admit it, you are not fit to be commander-in-chief. And after 14 million Democrats voted for Joe Biden in the primary, now the Democrat Party bosses believed his poll numbers were too bad, and they're going to install Kamala Harris as their new nominee, a person who has not received a single vote for president. And the media calls it a coronation. I think we ought to call it a coup. In America, we don't crown our leaders, we vote for them. And remember, in the 2020 primary, Kamala Harris dropped out before the first vote was cast. She was so unpopular that she polled in the low single digits, even among Democrats, her entire campaign. She didn't get in the top 3 in her home state of California. And the reason is, Democrat voters know that the American people would never elect a San Francisco liberal so far outside the mainstream. And I think we ought to give the Democrats credit where it's due. The American people will never elect a wacky, out-of-touch liberal like Kamala Harris. We're just not going to do it. $500,000 kids, this is the toll of her leadership. 500,000 kids have been trafficked by the cartels because of her policies, and she calls us disloyal. Hundreds of thousands of our citizens are dead from fentanyl overdoses because of her policies. Hardworking Americans cannot afford groceries because of her policies. And my question to the American people is, do you want a president who is disloyal to this country, or do you want somebody who is willing to take a bullet for it? I think we want the guy who is willing to take a bullet for it. So let me ask you, do we want open borders? Do we want to bankrupt Medicare by giving it to illegal aliens? Do we want to defund the police? Do you want to ban fracking? So do we want a dangerous liberal like Kamala Harris? I'd say hell no. Instead, in just a few months, Nevada is going to lead a great American restoration of American strength, American prosperity, and American sanity. It's going to start right here. We're going to elect Donald Trump. God bless you all. God bless America. And God bless the great state of Nevada. We love you all.
All right, there's J.D. Vance. Live from Reno, Nevada, about 20 minutes.
Wow. Keeping it tight.
Keeping it tight.
That's about right.
What'd you think, Slick Rick?
You know, Listen, he's young. I like the young man. I like J.D. Vance. I hope he can do well. But, Big D, I'm not overly impressed with that speech. Give me some more time. Give me a little more fire.
Well, the thing about Vance is obviously we knew this when Trump picked him, is that obviously everything for Vance is going to be kind of first time new.
Yeah.
The mud they're going to sling at him is all going to kind of find its way, stick, I guess, for lack of a better word, the first time. And some of the conversation about whether he should have picked someone like Glenn Youngkin, who I don't necessarily think would have been a better pick, but I guess you could make the argument that Youngkin, his governor, has run a messy campaign, has had the mud kind of slung at him already. All the things that they could try have already been tried against Youngkin, as he's when he ran in Virginia. So I guess there's that, but JD's he's just seemingly a very normal guy, which makes it I guess maybe that's what makes it, you kind of have to get used to just a normal guy. Obviously totally different speech than what the president does, about an hour shorter. What'd you think, Delgado?
Yeah, it was all right. Nothing that blows your socks off, but the VP is not supposed to blow your socks off. He's not supposed to outshine the guy at the head of the ticket.
Yeah.
So much like Mike Pence, hey, he knows his role. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw you a little bit of that red meat. You guys start to get to know me, and I'm sure he'll evolve over the next few months, start to open up a little bit more, maybe dive into more of his personal story. But just, keep it tight at first, and we'll roll with it. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I mean, again, my first pick would have been somebody like a Byron Donalds or even Rand Paul, but that's me. Donald Trump is the guy who's running for president, not me, so that's the guy he picked, and he's, let's face it, he's got the backing of Donald Trump Jr., who I guess is really invested in J.D. Vance and knows a lot about him, and he's got an incredible story that you can't deny. So you know what? This kind of fills in some of the maybe some of the weakness that Trump saw on his side.
Mm-hmm. Kevin Downey Jr. is here. What'd you think of? Is that the first time you've heard J.D. Vance's kind of stump speech?
Nope, I keep an eye on this guy. I'm from Detroit, and I am what some people would call white trash, though my parents did not rent, they owned their double wide, hence I am Caucasian debris. And we love this cat. I listen to him every chance I get. I think Delgado hit the nail on the head. You don't want your opening act, out flashing your headliner, and he's perfect for that. He's got that blue-collar Midwestern vibe and vote, I believe. I don't know if you guys are familiar with his background. He comes from nothing.
Yeah.
He comes from nothing. And, being from Detroit, we dig this dude. We dig him, and so I've seen him. But, there's not a whole lot of Shazam, but he tells it like it is. And I don't know if you guys caught this. He paid homage to his grandmother who raised him.
Yes.
Showing, love and respect for women, which I think goes a long way.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back, talk a little bit more about J.D. Vance. We'll get on with other news and sports as well, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night.
They're kissing his ass over that.
Well, they hope,
All right, live from Studio 6B, social media break. Just trying to get a sense of what people thought. Looks like people liked J.D. Vance.
Yeah.
Well, they like him. Speech is going to probably take some time to kind of round it out. That's 20 minutes is awfully short.
It is short.
Yeah. No question.
Now, I wonder if there was a time thing, because wasn't he supposed to start a little bit earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it was a time thing. They're like, look, we got to do this. We got this.
Could be. Good point. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it was held to a strict time limit.
I like to hear him get a little more into some of the issues. I mean, the economy barely touches on.
Yeah.
A lot of immigration, which is understandable. Little history of the family thing I like Kevin said.
Yeah.
But
a lot of people in the chat really like him, and they may think we're being a little critical, but listen, we like the guy. He's on our team. We want to see him do well. We support him. I think he's a good choice, but Big D, I like to see a little more fire. Maybe we will down the road.
Again, that's Trump's job.
Yeah,
he's the fire.
He brings all the fire.
Right.
Well,
he brings the fire.
Listen,
JD brings the other part of the ticket that
I'll tell
they
you,
need.
I'll tell you what I don't understand from either one of them is this statement that they put out tonight. I mean, Molly Hemingway put it this way: Trump world bows down to the left-wing media lies and keeps signaling that he doesn't want his most loyal foot soldiers, who kept with him even when very few others did, or their conservative ideas in his next administration. And that is a statement, again, on Project 2025. President Trump's this is the statement put out from Trump Vance tonight. President Trump's campaign has been very clear for over a year that Project 2025 had nothing to do with the campaign, did not speak for the campaign, and should not be associated with the campaign or the president in any other way. Reports of Project 2025's demise would be greatly welcomed and should serve as notice to anyone or any group trying to misrepresent their influence over President Trump and his campaign. It will not end well for you. There's no way to understand who thinks that's a good idea. These are the most conservative, loyal people from the Heritage Foundation that were around him in his first administration, and now he doesn't want to be associated with them. Explain that to me.
It's campaign season.
So moving to the left?
That's how Kamala Harris can call Joe Biden a racist and still laugh it off. It's
All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Slick Rick's going to do some sports. Delgado's got some news. Kevin Downey Jr. series got some news as well. We'll try to get to all of them here. Let's start with sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. LFS6B is the code to use if you shop at MyPillow, LFS6B. Go to mypillow.com/LFS6B to get to all the best deals for this audience. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, well, Coco Gauff lost it a little bit today. Tennis Olympian Coco Gauff in tears after arguing with umpire during loss to Croatia. So Olympics heating up there. Warner Todd Houston. U.S. Tennis Olympian Coco Gauff was in tears Monday while arguing a call with a chair umpire before her loss to Croatia's Dana Vekic. Gauff is now out of the hunt for a singles medal after losing in straight sets to Vekic 7-6, 6-2, Fox News reported. But 2 games before the end of the match, Gauff clearly felt robbed when a line judge ruled that one of Vekic's shots was out of bounds before Gauff got a chance to return it, only to find the chair umpire reversing the call to rule that Vekic's ball was in and then awarding the point to the Croatian. Despite the line judge's opinion that the ball was out, chair umpire Juan Campostol overruled the call and said it was in. The call sent Gauff to challenge the umpire. I never argued these calls, but he called out before I hit the ball. Gauff told the umpire, it's not even a perception. It's the rules. I always have to advocate for myself. During her complaints to the umpire, Gauff broke down in tears, had kind of a meltdown there. Regardless, the video of Vekic's ball shows that the chair umpire was correct and the ball was in. So a little drama on the tennis court, which is not unusual, and not everything's about John McEnroe, obviously, but, this is what happens. We do have some drama there as well. And, we're going to stick with Olympics stories because, that's kind of the theme right now, even though we're not great supporters of the Olympics after that opening ceremony, which kind of put a damper on everything for all of us on Friday night, set the tone for all things. But we're going to continue to roll these stories because that's kind of all they're reporting in sports, quite frankly. I know we got the NFL going on. We have this camps going on. A couple of guys got injured, a couple of no major blockbuster trades. So we'll keep an eye on NFL as well. But getting back to the Olympics, circling back to Paris, Big D. Bon appetit. Paris caves buys tons of meat and eggs for athletes after backlash over vegan diet. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. Paris has once again surrendered to foreign occupiers, except this time the occupiers are not an armed encampment. They are hungry athletes fed up with the vegan diet Olympic organizers tried to make them eat. Olympic organizers were forced to order 4,000 pounds of meat and eggs quickly after athletes decried the fake meat and non-dairy options, the Daily Mail reports. From the beginning, officials sought to make this year's Olympics the most eco-friendly and green in Olympic history. Remember, no air conditioning as well down here at the where the athletes are staying. However, lost somewhere in the social designers' grand design was the fact that while fake meat is fine in the facility cafeterias of Harvard and Oxford, elite human machines do not run on, well, fake meat. While the organizers initially sought to downplay the woke meal plan's impact and assured that all would be well eventually, they had to concede defeat. As far as food is covered, we had to make a few changes and we had to adapt, which is quite normal, Paris 2024 chief executive Etienne Thobis told reporters. We have 700 kilograms of eggs and even a ton of meat have been the increase we have provided to meet the standards of athletes. In having to rush order 4,000 pounds of a totally different menu than item quite normal, the Thobis continued, we have got a full vision in terms of nutrition, which is designed to provide the product. This is nonsense. But anyway, more or less, they're getting their meat, they're getting it. You read these stories.
I'm glad you realized
it. It goes on and on.
I'm going to nudge you.
That's it. Last Olympic story of the night, I promise.
I thought that was a condom story. Kept talking about meat.
I thought the condom story was coming up next.
Would you give me a J.D. Vance hat, please, so I can trump for that? Okay, that's a wrap in sports.
I love that you even pronounce it Tonne.
Tonne!
T-O-N-N-E.
Well,
it's actually a good segue, and I want to give especially if you're in the East Coast, I think there's some additional states too. Boy, you got to really be staying away from the Boar's Head. Boar's Head.
Let's get mysterious.
Boar's Head tonight has recalled an additional 7 million. Let me repeat this. Boar's Head recalls an additional 7 million pounds of deli meat tied to listeria outbreak. This is just breaking on the AP tonight. So
Boar's Head is dead.
Man, you got to stay away from if you're and most of the states are on the Maryland, New Jersey, New York. A lot of them in the East Coast. Man, you got to stay away from that. Yeah. Stay away from it at your deli. Stay away from it buying it.
Yeah.
Until I don't even know how you ever feel comfortable buying this. I mean, I guess there's a way I guess they'll come out and say all clear or whatever. But
I was in the supermarket
7
today.
7 million pounds. That seems like a lot.
Big D, the deli counter is like the plague. Stay away. Dead. It's a shame. And of course, Boar's Head's been they've set the bar. They've like the premier cold cut company, at least in New York. I don't know about the rest of the country, but and boy, that's going to be a big blow for them. And I hate to see that happen to a company. Just got they always saying bad meat in a can, right? And it's bad stuff. Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right, Slick.
Like that joke.
Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFSXB is the code to use. Let's do some news with Rick Delgado. News is brought to you by 7cells, 7cells.com. Delgado's got it. What's going on?
All right. Well, I don't know if you guys covered this in the first part of the show, but acting Secret Service director says he's hurt by the counter-sniper's email ripping the leadership after Trump's shooting. Senator Marsha Blackburn actually read part of this email during the acting director's testimony, his name being Ronald Rowe. Republican Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn asked the Secret Service new acting director why the public has lost trust in the agency's mission to protect following the July 13th assassination attempt against former President Trump at his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. And with this, she read part of the email. This agency needs to change, and if not now, when? The next assassination in 30 days? Read Blackburn from the email reportedly sent by a Secret Service counter-sniper during the Senate hearing involving the acting U.S. Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe and FBI Deputy Director Paul Abate. Blackburn also read the last portion of the email obtained by Real Clear Politics reporter Susan Crabtree, who has been all over this story if you've been following her, and repeatedly sent within the agency by the counter-sniper, stating that the motto of the USSS, the U.S. Secret Service, is now CYA, for cover your you-know-what. The Tennessee Senator continued, the public has lost trust in the ability to execute the mission to protect. And I want to know how you feel about the fact that employees in your own agency are worried about covering their behind and not worried about protecting the former president. So this was part of the going on in Congress today on the back and forth. Rowe, who took on the position of director after Kimberly Cheadle resigned last week, told Blackburn that he's hurt, Damon. I'm hurt because my people are hurting right now, he said. We need them. The acting director added that the emotions are raw within the agency right now. He wants to hear more from the agent who wrote the email and described himself as a U.S. Marine as well as a 20-year veteran of the Secret Service. Rowe added that he is committed to reviewing things and being a change agent. Probably wants to change the employment of this guy who wrote the email.
Well, Bongino's been saying this guy, I mean, I think he said today, he tweeted out something. He said, I told you about this guy. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're going to get to the point very quickly here that most of us are going to resign ourselves to the fact, like most things, we're never going to know. We're never going to get the truth about what happened on July 13th. Just another 3-letter, 4-letter alphabet gang department that we're not going to get the truth from, ever. And that can't be trusted. And they just keep piling up.
Well, I, for one, hope that if, and I fully expect President Trump to win, that he does take Bongino up on his offer to help clean that agency out. Mm-hmm. And hopefully things will then get revealed. So.
All right, we'll do some more news with Delgado and Kevin Downey when we get back right after this.
We're live in the chat.
Did you hear Kamala did her best Hillary Clinton affectation deal today?
No. Do you have it?
Put this up, Aaron.
Is it the come from afar one?
Did she say something about she's got hot sauce in her purse?
And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
Come on,
Yes, we will. So let's get right. So in this campaign, I will proudly put my record against his any day of the week.
There you go. Really? Come on, girl. We got it going on.
Any day of the week.
Is this a deep fake? What is this?
Including, for example, on the issue of immigration. And you all helped us win in 2020.
Come on, that's a deep fake. That's not real.
No, that's real.
That's real?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's real embarrassing.
They've blown so much sunshine up her ass. She's actually she's starting to feel warm.
Yeah, well,
she's believing her own press.
Oh, well, I mean, when you've got
come on, modern day Mother Teresa.
I mean, let me just, maybe you guys haven't seen.
Did you guys hear she made her staff stand up whenever she walked into a room?
Really?
I mean, when this is your rally, I mean, you feeling good. 20,000, packed strong.
I heard it was 10.
Doesn't matter. It's a good crowd.
Swag surfing in there.
Yeah, listen, they're in sync, Big D. Come on.
Yeah. So,
you know what I think it is?
You see the big move to the right from her on immigration that she's going to try to pull off.
Oh yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah. While we're moving left on everything, she's going to move right on immigration. This is great.
You're going to blame Biden. Go. I never wanted to do that.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Beth heard the same thing. No eye contact with Kamala Harris, and got to call her general as an attorney general. Thank you, Beth.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Let's continue to do some news with Rick Delgado, and we'll do some with Kevin Downey Jr. here in a second, and then we'll do some more sports with Slick before we wrap it up. Delgado, what's going on in the news?
All right. Well, this one coming from John Solomon's Just the News is the Missouri Attorney General suing the Biden administration over the illegal immigrant flights into his state. I say it's about freaking time. What took it so long? According to the lawsuit, the Biden administration has been deliberately flying illegal aliens from the border to the interior of the country and has sought to gain public records on behalf of Missouri citizens, but has met with federal resistance. According to the Attorney General, Andrew Bailey, he filed suit against the administration Tuesday for failing in its legal obligation to fulfill a Freedom of Information Act request asking for documents and communications related to the facilitation of transportation of illegal immigrants into the state of Missouri. The FAIO, the FOIA request addressed to the Homeland Security Office, has not provided the requested information. The state government of Missouri argued in a lawsuit that Biden's administration is deliberately flying illegals from the border to the interior of the country and sought to gain public records of this. Bailey's office at DHS has responded with a denial of this request based on the clearly erroneous reading of the AGO's FOIA request. He argued that this game of hide and seek violates the spirit and letter of the FOIA, which states that an agency shall withhold information only when that agency reasonably foresees that disclosure would harm an interest protected by an exemption or if disclosure is prohibited by law. So watch for this to unfold in the coming weeks as they move forward to try to figure out what the hell the Biden administration's been up to. But we pretty much know, because Ben Bergquam really has been all over this. And they don't only do it from inside this country, they do it from outside this country. We heard about the flights they have set up in other countries where they just fly them in. You don't have to show anything. You get on board, and they give you safe passage into the interior of this country. So we'll see what happens with that. North of the border, I don't know if you heard about this story, David. This is a little wacky. An Ontario woman claims that visitors are defecating in the sand at Wasaga Beach.
Sorry?
Yes. This is not about condoms or about meat. This is about the beach. TikTok user It's Natty LXNN 2.0 has been posting videos claiming people are coming to the beach at Wasaga Beach Provincial Park, setting up tents and doing their dirty business in the sand.
Wow.
She's a mom who lives in the area, has kids as well. She says, I'm going to make a series. I'm going to go down to the main end to show everyone the thousands of tents that they have set up, which are still up, and these are starting to be shared all over social media. No tourist respects the no tent rule, and they also dig holes. Listen to that. Dig holes under the tent to use as a washroom, and I'll be documenting it. As a matter of fact, we do have cut number one. Here she is. This is the woman. What's her name? It's Natty LXNN. Talking about the poop story. Here it is. Cut number 3. Check this out.
Let's see this.
So I'm tired of people saying that the people pooping on the beach, like that's what they do back home. We are not back home. We are in Canada. As a local, I refuse to let my kids dig in the sand on beach 1. And you guys are saying all the tents are gone. No, they're not. No, they're not. The beach is full of tents. Full. And this is not including in the side areas of the beach. There is little treed areas there that is like mini forest, but it's cleared. So people can put up camp there. That is where they're still 100% doing it. And they are still 100% doing it on the beach, but more discreetly. It is still happening. This is nothing that's going to change. People with that mentality will not change it. So people need to stop arguing with me and acting like this isn't happening. This is not just 3 years ago. This is today. This is this week. This is still happening. The tents are still up. The people are still coming.
Yeah, she's making reference to the immigrants that have made their way into Canada, basically from India. I guess this is an acceptable practice there, Damon.
It sounds like going to the beach in Canada is a real crapshoot.
You know, when we dig on the beach here in Long Island, we find seashells.
Yeah, we just exactly.
Yeah, that or body parts.
We find a few other things, but that's another story. Yeah.
Remember.
Well, it turns out this isn't the end of the story, believe it or not. This happened the other day.
Oh, thank God.
There was a follow-up.
No.
She got a visit from the local police because she's calling out the visitors, the transplants.
They're planting all right.
Because of what they've been doing. And the police actually came to see her regarding her TikTok posts. Here's cut number 4. Watch this.
Do you want to know why my food is burnt? Because I had a police officer come to my door and harass me because of my videos. Somebody called in and said, she's harassing East Indian people. No, I'm not. I did not harass anybody. I am telling stories that I have
This is relevant. I mean, really.
Well, because this is one of those consequences of immigration. These people come in and they don't assimilate. They just decide, I'm going to treat this just like I do at my own home or in my own country.
And you know what's sick? Someone called the cops on her.
Yes.
You know what? You know why? That's the leftist going, she's a racist because she doesn't want her kids digging up duty. So I'm going to call the cops on her. This is part of the social conditioning, where you say you cannot criticize another race or another culture or another religion, or that makes you a biggity.
Yeah.
So that's how the lefties feel better about themselves.
Actually, it was the mayor who was denying that any of this stuff is going on.
I'm so
and
woke.
is probably responsible for the police coming to her house.
Hey, Mommy, look at this rock.
So
this
there you
claim
have
has
it.
corn in it.
Just another, since we're talking about immigration, I mean, come on, just another example of what we're dealing with when it comes to immigration and some of the things that those who don't assimilate, and they're not encouraged to, and they're rewarded for their behavior. This is what ends up happening. Crap on a beach.
Yeah. It's a crappy story, too, to boot.
Yeah, it's no condom story, I understand.
Well, no, that was
a little argument between the two of you, huh?
Listen,
Delgado.
that was the real rub.
Delgado's getting a little defensive of his news stories. Okay.
Imagine going fishing there. Oh, I caught a 4-pound feces.
Anything?
The show is turning to you know what.
Come on, man. That was pretty corny.
Any other stories, Delgado? You want to go right now, or can we give Kevin some time?
Yeah, let's give Kevin some time.
Okay, very good.
I don't give a crap.
Did you see corn?
All right, let's do some news with the host of the Kevin Downey Jr. Show, 10 to 11 weekdays on 103.9 LI News. And that'll be Kevin Downey Jr. What's going on, Kev?
Thank you, sir. I have a story from my friend and yours, Matt Margolis at PJmedia.com.
I love Matt Margolis.
Yep, I work with him. We write every day. He's throwing this out, and I like this. He says Kamala Harris has searched for a running mate, which, by the way, she says she'll have by Tuesday. She's giving a speech in Philadelphia on Tuesday. She says her running mate will be there. That tells me it's probably going to be Josh Shapiro.
Yep, and that's a big sign that they think they can win.
Yes, it is. But a couple of things to realize. Now, first of all, if it is Josh Shapiro, keep in mind, Kamala Harris is what you call an anti-Semite. And she needs Michigan and she needs Minnesota. And bringing on someone with the last name Shapiro could be an issue. We don't know. Also, he's been accused of covering up a sexual harassment case in his office, which won't look good if you're the supposed party of women. Even more shocking, and this doesn't steam my clams. This is worse. This guy, Mark Kelly from Arizona, well, he's a co-founder of a spy balloon company partially funded by China. Remember the balloon that flew over that Biden wouldn't shoot down because his puppet masters told him not to? Well, this guy, Mark Kelly, he's co-founder of the company that likely made that balloon, funded by who? By China. Now, does that take him out? It should. It should take them both out. It won't. I mean, this is an age where I remember I can't remember the guy's name. He was on a boat with a woman who wasn't his wife, and the boat was called Monkey Business, and that was the end of his career. Now, especially a leftist, they can get away with red rum, and their voters will still vote for them. for no other reason than they believe voting Democrat makes them a good person, i.e. better than you and me, which makes them white supremacists.
Well, Cooper has pulled himself out, right? Cooper has said, I'm not up, and
Stretch and Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan, she pulled herself out as well.
Right, Stretch and Gretchen, Ava Perone, she wants to run in 28, so she's not going to. Anybody who has any kind of a future of thinking to run are not going to attach themselves to this ticket, which Jack Posobiec reported today that Biden has also suggested strongly about Shapiro, obviously because you need to win Pennsylvania, and he's got a lot of young Democratic support behind him. They seem to like him a lot. Now, obviously, the Jewish thing, we'll have to see. I thought it was going to be him all along because I think that's a sign that they think they can win. If she goes with him, I said this yesterday. I don't know if you're him, how you put your name on a ticket with her when she supports the enemy. Yeah. I just don't know. Yeah, but I guess you look at her husband, I guess.
You would think anybody who has aspirations beyond this year of continuing in politics would kind of be like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good where I'm at.
See, especially if you're a governor already.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Posobiec said that Biden is pushing Shapiro strongly and said to her, don't underestimate J.D. Vance and and how he can attract voters in the Rust Belt. So you got to look at Shapiro. Now, Jack was also saying that Obama is pushing Waltz.
Who's Waltz?
I believe he's from Minnesota.
See, I heard Obama was pushing Mark Kelly.
That's what I heard.
When he wasn't high on, he wasn't as excited about Shapiro, and they want to have a floor fight at the convention over it. I don't know. But for me, if she picks Shapiro, to me, that's a sign that they think they can win. She picks Booty Juice or Waltz from Minnesota or somebody. I can't.
Yeah.
I just can't see that. I just can't see it.
But she's not going to win with Pete Butt Giggles. It's never going to happen. No. I agree. No. She's going with Shapiro. But let me ask you boys this. Does that hurt her in Michigan, where the Muslim/Arab vote makes up roughly 2% of the electorate? Does that hurt her?
I think it does.
Oh, yeah.
I think so, too, because that puts him a breath away from the White House, which means a very strong Israel.
Not only that.
Well, who knows? I mean, you would think that. Has he made a statement condemning the latest attack as of yesterday? I don't think he had.
You're right.
But she hasn't. Yeah. Biden hasn't. We saw Bibi's reaction after he met with Kamala Harris when he was just here. So I don't know. What were you going to say, Delgado?
I totally forgot. Because I was listening to you guys, I was trying to pay attention and see what else you were gonna say.
Alien juice is kicking in there.
Let me run this past you, boys. See what you think. The fact that Cooper and Stretch and Gretchen don't want anything to do with her, does that mean she's going to go down like the Hindenburg and they know it and they want to separate themselves from her?
That's what I think.
Well, over who was it yesterday? Ward Clark had a piece over at it wasn't at PJ Media, it was at Red State.
Okay.
And it was entitled, Kamala Harris is Making Democrats Start to Sweat. And it was basically saying, let's just pump the brakes here. Number one, let's remember how many primary delegates she won in 2020. Oh, yeah, 0, as many as I did. And I didn't run for anything. She dropped out before a single primary vote was cast. So again, I think it's hard to judge any of this in this first week and a half. But to me, today was this Megan Thee Stallion concert featuring Kamala Harris, not the other way around. That's why you had so many people there in her hometown.
I was going to say.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we'll wrap it up for a Tuesday when we get back right after this.
I don't think there's enough glue for that. I know.
Speaking of what even is that?
Yeesh.
That looks good. God, you got a small head. Are you kidding me? What is this? Size medium. I can barely. I gotta like balance it.
It's like putting a Barbie hat on Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah, it's like putting a Barbie hat on Stretch Armstrong.
You know what?
Exactly.
You look like you could work for the Biden administration now.
Remember, who was the pimp in Beretta? Huggy Bear.
No, Huggy Bear was Starsky and Hutch.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm thinking of then.
Okay.
I've already been called that 6 times in the chat tonight. Trust me.
Yeah, Huggy Bear was
because we be big pimpin', spending G's. You know we big pimpin' up in NYC.
I think it was Antonio Vargas was his
Guacamole.
name. Kevin.
I got hat hair now. Yeah, hair like
You can have it back, Slick.
my hairdo looks like Delgado's.
Wanted to see. I didn't realize how.
Wow.
I didn't realize how small this thing is.
I love it.
Are you talking about his condom story?
Oh, that head.
Rick, did the feather come with it? Because I buy feathers for I have a fedora and I got a couple different feathers.
No, this feather came with it.
All right. I'm a feather guy.
I've never had anybody ask me, did your feather come with your hat? No, I haven't had that question asked.
You got your summer feathers and you got your winter feathers.
You got it, brother.
I guess so.
I got a whole house full of feathers with my birds. I can pull any kind of feathers out of my hat, man. Every color you could imagine. Trust me on that one.
My cowboy hat eats that hat for lunch.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, if we ever saw your cowboy.
Yeah, that cowboy hat is pretty dormant. We never see that thing ever. Come on, Big D.
Leaves that thing in the barn.
Yeah, leaves it in the barn.
It's not in the barn. It's right on my desk.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to wear it on Friday night.
Yeah. You said that last Friday, too.
I'll wear a hat, too. Should Friday be hat day?
Friday's Pizza Hat Day.
Pizza Friday, yeah.
Pizza Friday Hat Day.
We had Pizza Tuesday.
Could be Pizza Tuesday.
I know,
too.
Damon shelled out for a pizza.
Yeah, thank you. That was great.
Wow, that was excellent. Coming up, the perks on this show, you guys have no idea.
Yeah.
This show is like living in a hot tub all year long, baby. These people, they get so much crap out of us, man. They don't even appreciate us. This audience. Come on. Oh, J.D. Vance. We love J.D. Vance. Come on, man. Just want to see a little more juice, Big D. That's all. Come on.
Why, who's worried about J.D. Vance?
Me. I want to see him. Come on. I need a little more karma from this
fine.
kid.
He'll be fine.
Dude,
All right.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do a little more news with Kevin Downey Jr.
All right, thank you. This leads into something I wanted to talk about. I don't know if this is breaking, about an hour ago. Fox News. I shall read my broadcaster's voice. The Venezuelan gang Trendy Aragua is believed to have given what authorities are calling the green light to attack and kill police officers. Federal authorities have warned. Now, this is where Kamala's going to go wrong. She allowed these people in, and all it takes is one really bad situation, whether it is a terror attack, whether 5 cops get ambushed and murdered by these gangs from Venezuela that I firmly believe Maduro sent here with Biden's blessing. This sort of thing, if anything happens here, this works against it. And God, I hope it doesn't. I hope they don't start killing cops. But if the gang has given their okay to start killing our cops, that changes everything about, this election in our society, in our culture. The article goes on to say, a bulletin by the Colorado Information Analysis Center, a screenshot of which has been shared right here, you can look at it if you want, warns that a police department in New Mexico has received information from federal partners that members have been encouraged, not only given the green light, but encouraged to attack cops in Denver. And it could be other places they don't know. So this is big. These are illegal immigrants in a gang coming here, encouraged to kill our police officers. Now, you guys can see how this can go bad in 1,000 different ways. A, for law enforcement. B, for, Kamala. I hope it does go bad for her. But just imagine the idea of illegal immigrants coming here and their chieftains, or whatever you call the gang leaders, saying, yeah, we encourage you to go kill some cops. That's going to be good for business. What do you guys think?
Well, I'm seeing the reports online that you're reporting here from other outlets as well. So, I think I think this is the effects of 3.5 years of an open border.
Yes.
Yep.
And an unstable world and weakness being shown from the United States on all fronts, from all leadership, from the courts when it comes to deal. Now, I know Texas got a little bit of a win today, but you can't leave the front door open and then be surprised when someone's in your house.
Yeah,
right.
And they crap on your beach.
And they crap on your beach, exactly. So, just one other thing I want to get to, and then we'll do some sports with Slick here. Mike Lee tonight, earlier today, he said, so Secret Service let Trump take the stage 17 minutes after receiving multiple reports of a suspicious person with a rangefinder. They didn't remove him from the stage, and after local law enforcement realized that this kid had a gun, perhaps because they didn't have an open channel of communication between them, which in itself is stunning, moments before shots were fired, Trump still was not taken off the stage, and they still can't or won't tell us why a window with a clear overview of a sniper's pitched roof perch was initially staffed with snipers, but abandoned before the shooting. And Sean Davis from The Federalist said if the Secret Service wanted Trump to get shot in the head and wanted to make sure an assassin had the opportunity to do that, what would it have done differently?
That's a great question.
Very good.
And that's a good question that nobody has an answer to.
And the lack of information tells me a lot. Now, I'm not saying I own guns. I perhaps did at one point. I had a tragic canoe accident on one of the Great Lakes. I believe it was Lake Wisconsin. And I lost all my guns. But the shot I heard sounds a lot like a .22 to me. And the hole in President Trump's ear, if that had been a .223 or a .556, that would have taken his ear off. Now, why would you try to assassinate someone with a .22 unless you had the training to do it? And if you hit someone in the head, they are likely to die, without a doubt. But why don't we even have that yet? All we know is it was an AR-15 style rifle. The lack of information tells me this goes way deeper than we think it does.
Now, it seems like you're being fitted for a tinfoil hat there, my friend, and welcome to the party.
I might wear one on Friday.
Yeah. Sounds like you're hanging out in the grassy knoll a little bit.
I mean, this is something we've kind of suggested over the last couple of weeks is what else, and that's the perfect question. What else could they have done to make sure this happened? It was almost like, the Matador type of security where they're like, here you go. Mm-hmm. And it's there's too many things that went wrong all at the same time that allowed a 20-year-old novice to outsmart and get off 8 shots, they're claiming?
Yes.
8 shots. Against trained security individuals such as the Secret Service and snipers and SWAT members. I'm not going to buy that. I'm going to wait.
You know what Bongino said today? The snipers you see behind Trump, they didn't take out the guy.
Right, it was a guy further away.
From a greater distance.
Greater distance.
A much greater distance.
And with a tree blocking his
It was
view.
an amazing shot, almost a miracle shot, they said.
I just asked somebody, I forget who, I was talking to my cousin, who's a gun enthusiast, probably owns more guns than the U.S. Army. He told me he thought what the caliber was, and he gave me a really good reasoning. And, of course, I can't remember any of it, so I just asked him to see if he lines up with what you think, Kevin. So I'm going to see if he answers me. But in the meantime, let's do some sports before we wrap it up here. Sure. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. Slick, what else is going on?
All right, well, let's get away from the Olympics and let's go to the rodeo, Big D.
There we go.
Good week. We got the Cheyenne Frontier Rodeo Days at the Frontier Park in, Cheyenne, Wyoming. Bareback riding. We're on to already the second finals. Clay Jorgensen had 90 points on Summit Pro Rodeo's Game Trail. He picked up $8,400. Steer wrestling, the final went to, this wrapped up over the weekend, Denton Good, 6.5 seconds, 6,900. Team roping, and in the final there, was taken by Hayes Smith and Justin Davis, 8.3 seconds, 9,200 each. Not a bad pay for a weekend there. Saddle Bronc, Logan Cook, 90 points on Sankey Pro Rodeos and Phenom Genetics, the black tie. Tie down roping, we had final Shad Mayfield, the great Shad Mayfield, great name in rodeo, 9.8 seconds and $9,200. Barrel Racing, Jordan Briggs, we've seen her before, 17.6 tenths, excellent time there. And steer roping, Tough Hardman, 14.5 seconds. Last but not least, the granddaddy of them all, of course, is bull riding at the rodeo. And the final went to TJ Gray, 90 points on Smith Pro Rodeos, no doze, spelled DOZE, $8,247, $1,080,000 payout on this rodeo. So great big rodeo over the weekend in Wyoming, wrapped up. And real quick, I get a couple seconds. Yankees and Phillies in a good one, Rick. Tied at 5, bottom of the 10th. And the Phillies got a man on second, so we'll see what happens there. The Reds continue to lead the Cubs 6-3, top of the 9th. Mariners downing the Red Sox 10-6, bottom 9, top 6. Cards over the Rangers 8-1. Braves 5-0 over the Brewers, mid 7, top of the 8th. White Sox 2-1 over the Royals. Pirates 5-1 over the Astros, bottom of the 5th. Bottom first, Rockies blanking the Angels 2-0. The Dodgers are out 3-0 over the San Diego Chargers, San Diego Padres, excuse me. And then the Chargers don't even exist anymore in San Diego. Diamondbacks 2-0 over the Nats. Athletics and Giants just underway. Guardians and Tigers 5-0 earlier today. Blue Jays, Orioles take that one 6-2 earlier today as well. Rays 9-3 over the Marlins, and Mets down the Twins 2-0. That was final. Big D, that's a wrap in sports. Back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. As always, we salute our military, active and active police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, everybody on the front lines protecting us, all our truckers, all our farmers, everybody that keeps the country moving. Thanks, everybody on the show. Aaron Frank, great job. Slick, Kevin Downey Jr., Rick Delgado, welcome on back. We'll see you tomorrow night. We'll do it all again. J.D. Vance, live, right here during Live from Studio 6B. We'll see you then, 8 p.m. right here, live from Studio 6B.